actually say.
We're having a coffee this morning, folks. And the F1's on. 12 or half past or something, I think.
Yeah.
Today. I've been on my phone this morning. Because I really wanted to go to see the Roundhouse when we were in Germany. The Roundhouse is in Orna Camp, where I was stationed. It's a really interesting building, this is the Roundhouse. I'll do a snapshot of the outside of it. I can't find any pictures of the inside. And I'll put it up there for you to look at. The Roundhouse. Apparently it was Germans used the camp. It's right next to Velsen, and it was the officers' mess. Was the Roundhouse, yeah. For the Wehrmacht. Right. But I watched the World Cup in 1966 in there.
Yeah.
I watched England win the World Cup. It's my only claim to fame. Oh, and of course, that little cubicle is in there where I used to ring Pat.
Just check on her neck.
It was really strange in Hermannsburg, because it's crazy, you know. When I went out, I was kept behind. When all the blokes, when I finished my training in Farnborough, all the blokes were posted out, and I was kept behind. What's you feeling puffing at?
It's cold. The feeling. Oh.
Ernie's cold. His lamp has gone again.
His bulb.
The bulbs, they don't last 2 minutes.
He only had it changed when we were away. Go on then, have a wander out, see if it can warm up.
You sure there's no... Well, you could put him in some warm water.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah.
What were I saying?
Oh, you were on about Roundhouse.
Oh yeah, when... I was kept behind when everybody were posted out. Because I suppose I was a reasonable runner. I wasn't a brilliant runner. But I were alright. I used to run for Army, and I ran in Army Championships. And so when I was posted out, I was posted out to Orna on my own. And I flew out to Hanover Airport, and then a military bus was waiting for me in Hanover. Just single-decker bus, but I was the only one on it. And I've told the story of it clanking its way out to camp there, you know, in my book. But I don't know whether I mentioned it in my book. I mean, when I got out there, I arrived on my own out in Germany, and they had put me on duty the following morning. I'd never driven in Germany. I'd never driven on the right hand side of the road, and they'd given me the duty of driving what's called the pads truck, which was picking up the army personnel, the married personnel up from Bergen and elsewhere. And that meant from nothing you just had to drive on the right-hand side of the road in a lorry in a strange country. You hadn't got a clue where anywhere was, just as though they all expected you to know where Mozartstrasse and Berlinerstrasse were in Bergen, where help married personnel. It's crazy. Anyway, I didn't do it because I never even looked at Part 2 orders. Pat's put the kettle on.
Sorry.
She's great, is Pat. You can guarantee if I'm watching a film upstairs, she'll come and rustle some plastic bag at the side of me. Or she'll put the washing machine on or the kettle. She always...
Sorry, I'll do it later. Yeah,
anyway.
so you didn't know. I mean, how did they know that you drove anyway?
Oh, because I was in MT.
Oh, right.
I was posted to MT,
Right.
military transport. But
Right.
there's a sad part of this story because I don't know how long. Well, I'd been out there quite a while because I arrived there in 66, early 66, and Pat came out in April or May 68.
Yeah, April.
And it wasn't long after Pat came out there that I was going in from Hermansburg, from that little house I showed you where we lived. I was going in the back of the Pad's truck.
Yeah, he'd been picked up.
And as we came down the road into Bergen, I was looking for that road, which then was a cobbled road, and it had been raining and it was wet. And the driver who had picked us up was like me when I first arrived out there. He'd never driven on the right before. He hadn't
only come out that day before, hadn't he?
Yeah, he'd just arrived, brand new, rookie, and he come to pick us up, and we were going down that road in Brig.
Bergen.
Brig, I'm always calling it Brig. In Bergen, down that cobbled road. And I was sat in the offside at the back, right against the back opening of the truck on the offside. And I just saw this young girl flying through the air and a bike flying in the opposite direction. And as the truck went forward a bit, we all saw this girl thrown onto the ground, and we all shouted. The driver, he didn't even know he'd hit her, and we had to shout and bring him to a stop. And we got out, went to this girl who was lying on the floor unconscious, and of course the Germans that were around called an ambulance, and we eventually went into the camp, and it was later that day that I was told that the girl had died. And the girl was just going to school on a bike. She would have been about 14, I would guess. Her mother actually worked in the Roundhouse. I think her mother was English, but had married a Pole. And a lot of the Polish people worked for the British Army in Germany. And she was married to a Polish chap who worked for the army. Mm-hmm. And it was her daughter who was killed. Mm-hmm. And God, it really did upset me.
For days and days, it hardly ate out.
Yeah.
We were just in a state of real depression and shock.
What it was.
Real tragedy, wasn't it?
Just a young girl riding to school on a bike, and,
Yeah.
It's terrible.
And I mean, he didn't know that it was an era.
It was typical of the army. You know,
Sending
that's the
somebody
consequences. That girl lost her life because of the stupidity of the army to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Roundhouse, it just had such a connection because I used to phone Pat from there and things.
You used to go sit and read in there, didn't you?
That's where I read the book A Kind of Loving in one day. I read it all in one day. Well, I never forgot that book. It was fantastic, that book. And I've read Burroughs, Frank Burroughs, is it? Typical. I think it's
Forgotten.
not Stanley Burroughs. Stanley Burroughs, the author of A Kind of Loving. I've read all his books. Brilliant writer. Yeah, I would have loved to have gone in and seen the Roundhouse, but
They won't let us in.
they won't let us in.
It's actually run by Germans again now, isn't it? And Dutch.
Yeah. Aye. I walked round them tank hangers a few times. The guard room were there. Could see guard room. I used to hate it, that guard room. Used to have to stand on parade outside it and be inspected. 6 o'clock at night after we'd been at work all day. So have to get changed into what dress? Can't remember what they call the dress now. And get inspected, and you had to keep in that guard room. 2 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours on and 4 hours off, wasn't it? I used to walk round them tank hangers with a pick elf. It was.
Representing a gun.
The army really are. They always have been a strange organisation.
All two goes there
Yeah,
with your pickaxe.
yeah. It was. Well, it were all done. It's supposed to be, I don't know, make you alert, a soldier, I don't know. I used to walk round it in a figure 8, and I knew how many times it took me to do it in 2 hours. So I used to count them. So I knew how far.
How many figure 8s you had to
Yeah,
do?
I knew how far through my stagger was. I felt like running to get it, as if that had speed up my stag. No.
Oh dear, yeah. Strange.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
And you'd go out on these schemes, wouldn't you, for weeks?
Yeah. And Frank died of typhoid in the camp in
Did
Belsen. Yeah, and a sister died in there as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very neglected when I went out there. And eventually pressure was put on the government to do something about it. And gradually, over the years, it's become as it is now. There's the monument in the middle, and the museum where the photographs are. All that has come about over those sidings as well were renovated over the years as well. But it was, well,
Yeah.
I suppose they would want to bury it, really.
It's a long time, isn't it? 60 years. Oh,
Yeah,
70 years, is it?
Bergen and Ermansberg. I mean, there's a lot of changes.
Yeah, a lot of new stuff. Oops.
The Deutsche House, where I used to go drinking, that's now a chemist shop.
Yeah.
I once saw a band in there called the Lords. They were supposed to be Germany's answer to the Beatles at the time, the Lords.
Mm.
And there were you know, I've gone and forgotten his name now. Somebody, there were a song, wasn't there? On every tree there sits a bird singing the song of love.
Mm.
And I remember that they got the words wrong and they sang on every bird there sits a tree.
Yeah, they got them mixed up, didn't they? Mm.
Yeah. They used to, I was there at Christmas. And they, a Tannenbaum, a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Oh Tannenbaum, why dost thou? Something, the song that they used to sing.
Mm.
And they used to turn the jukebox off on Christmas Day and Boxing Day. They used to turn it off at other times as well. You weren't allowed to have it on.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh. Wonder why that one.
Well, when we were there this time in Holland, the lorries are not allowed on the roads on Sundays.
Well, we came to that conclusion because we didn't see
No,
any.
no, someone told me.
Did they?
Yeah.
All right.
And don't ask me who.
Right.
Somebody told me.
Your boat friend.
No, I already knew when we were travelling along that road
Right.
when we could see them all parked up.
Yeah. There's plenty of parking spaces for them though
Oh,
along the highway, isn't there?
Oh, you all. God.
Yeah. And
No
toilets.
trouble finding toilets on their roads. Well, motorways.
Yeah.
They didn't cut. Most of them were only 2 lanes wide.
Hmm.
We did go into a really wide motorway on the way into Amsterdam. Massive place that, Amsterdam, isn't it? I got the impression it was.
Mm.
Never went into the heart of Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I don't know how far out. I mean...
When we got on a plane to come to take off, I mean, it spent ages at just trundling around.
When we come out of the airport, there was a bus, and they crammed us all into this bus. We had to stand up, we were literally like sardines in this bus. And it went for ages to arse end at airport, didn't it?
Yeah.
Where the plane were parked.
Hmm.
And then when we got sat down on plane, we saw that there were a lot of empty seats. And we thought, oh, the plane's not full on this trip. And then another load of people arrived. So the bus had gone back and picked more people up. Why the heck he couldn't say to
I'll
us,
be back
don't,
if you want to wait.
I'll be coming back, you're all right, you won't miss the plane. I don't know, instead of having us all crammed on. I thought if I missed the bus, I'd miss the plane.
Yeah.
So that were a bit weird. And then when the plane started moving to get to the runway, it was going ages.
Yeah.
I thought, it'll be taking off in Germany before long. it was, I don't know how big this airport is, but we must have been miles from the actual airport where we took off.
Yeah. Well, we went over a motorway, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we went over 2.
Oh, a big airport though. Massive. Absolutely massive.
One of the subscribers says it's like a city.
Mm.
And it is, yeah, it is like a city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad we went the day before, because at least we knew we were at this end at airport to get
I know.
for
I really
leaving.
It'd have been. It said on my documents to take the car back at 7:45. It'd have been impossible to have taken the car back on the day we flew and then try and find the departure line for KLM.
It was at that end at airport, which when we arrived, we must have arrived at the other end, because we seemed to walk all the way through airport.
Yeah.
And then we'd all the way from
We literally walked from one end.
departures to Avis.
It took us ages to find the checkout. You know, where they had to check us passports.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole place was deserted. There was two, what do they call them? The check custom people. What do they call them? Sat there waiting. They must have been waiting for us.
Do you think?
Must have thought there's still a couple still to come yet. I mean, we must have been miles behind everybody else because we got lost. We couldn't find it.
Yeah.
By the time we arrived there were just these two blokes sat there waiting for us.
Well, and you know what I'm like. I'm so slow.
Oh no.
Walking. And by the time we got to that car, I was shattered. I was absolutely shattered.
And then we drove them nuts.
Yeah.
Because the car we'd rented should have had a sat nav and it didn't. So I made them change it. And then I made them teach me how to operate it. So we were there ages, weren't we?
Yeah. Nobody had have done it how we did it.
He said most people use the phones. I said, yeah, but then I might use up all my data. And I need my data for uploading videos. But as it turned out, I would have been all right because I was using the hotel Wi-Fi's every night. So I was uploading with their Wi-Fi. So I would have had plenty of data. And in fact, I did use my phone to navigate quite a bit. Yeah. Oh, look at us, we've rabbited on again. All right, folks, we'll see you tomorrow, all being well. I'll put that picture up. Well, you'll have seen it by now. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.